100 Thieves came out as the champions of the Americas region, but they seem to have been struggling a little bit, finding themselves in a very similar situation to Citadel Gaming.
Yeah, Citadel Gaming actually getting a win against them in that last game of day one, and then when they played up against Na'Vi, it was a little bit tougher in their approach. The main thing for 100 Thieves is that they won up against the OUGs, the Crazy Raccoons, so there is that element of like, you've secured your position, you might be able to make sure that you don't come through the groups as the 4th seed, which is likely going to be going up against like Virtus Pro, if anything, but Na'Vi, this was kind of like fairly straightforward for them, and for 100 Thieves trying to adjust the way that they've been playing, going for some different approaches with trying to get more dualistic play for Delana, but still dedicating towards triple strategies for a
All right, I'm getting my tweet out that we're live.
It was very much a situation of 100 Thieves kind of having their lives flash before their eyes and finding some deja vu in it, as they also lost to Na'Vi, who at the time ran Esports at those mid-season finals as well. So it's very much been a tournament of rematches and a little bit of trauma for 100 Thieves getting up to this point. Like you said, Na'Vi really making it rough for 100 Thieves, whereas that's not as much of a case for FlyQuest, as we've already mentioned. They are sitting clean at the top of the group right now.
Yeah, FlyQuest, especially their win over Na'Vi earlier on, I think did a lot to not only show that this is a team that is really going to be pushing towards potential winners of this whole event, where you've got $1 million prize pool, mostly divvied out for the winners. FlyQuest are definitely on that list of potential ones that can top the charts here, but it's also like they're still running triple strategists. When so many teams are moving away, FlyQuest really dedicated to that style. They did it in such panache as well, as we saw up against Na'Vi earlier on. The players like Vision, Energy, they could go for that 2-2-2 if they want to, but also we've seen some really good performances from that front line of Vess and Sparkchief when they try and go for some of those divier Vanguard lineups.
But the fact is, it wasn't clean. Na'Vi were able to take the map off of FlyQuest, showing that they are at least vulnerable. They can be beaten, and 100 Thieves, they've done it in the past. They have been cooking away at this tournament, building up that run to see if they can go further. Last time they finished at mid-season finals in 3rd place, wanting to go even further this time, especially as one of their key opponents from last time, Envy, are eliminated, meaning that they also have some more extra weight, both of these teams, to continue the run for the Americas region.
And here we're sort of seeing mostly what FlyQuest have been rolling with so far, but like Energy being that solo duelist, whether it was being on the Bookie, whether it was Starlord here, it just felt like in this whole series, if you tallied up the eliminations for Na'Vi versus what FlyQuest were able to do with their picks, FlyQuest maybe had double the eliminations that Na'Vi did, especially on this 3rd and final map of Midtown. It did feel like FlyQuest just had enough sustainability with a triple strategist, but also the Energy was just farming up on the Starlord enough. But T'Challa is going to be the first map that we go to, and it's lossless for both teams so far this event. 1 win for 100 Thieves and 2 wins for FlyQuest. But it's also, I think, one of the main things that both these teams have been doing so far this event is trying to go for a one-sided Mantis, of course. But one thing that I like that FlyQuest are doing, out of the 10 maps that they've played so far this event, they've always banned out Venom, and 9 times out of 10 they've banned out Cap. So they're really going for, like, not first ban, but making sure that some of the strongest Vanguards are not available, and that is going to kind of hurt, I think, what 100 Thieves might try to do when TTK and Vinny have gone for some very nice divey compositions themselves, especially Vinny.
Yep.
You've also got to pay attention to Terra, who has been extremely proficient on the Winter Soldier, but when we started to see teams like Citadel, for example, start to ban that away, we started to see 100 Thieves maybe falter a little bit. Terra, of course, did come into this tournament a little bit sick, but we actually found out last night that Vess is also feeling a little bit under the weather, so the health buff is going to be evened out between the two teams here, as Jeff is going to be secured.
Looks like Mantis is banned for both sides here. These ban Venom but protect Venom.
In spite of that.
And then FlyQuest protects Jeff, which I feel like is smart on their part, because the Thieves have not done good against Jeff.
Sort of up there, Invisible Woman, Loki. You got the one-sided Jeff, one-sided Venom, so you're not going to see the team up in either case. But for 100 Thieves, you haven't really been relying too much on the Mantis, or looking at some of the other stuff that they've gone for. Like
I was
also
going to
just
do
been
oatmeal,
climbing up the ranks and
I looked, and
certainly
like,
on a map where you expect these kind of comps to be potentially more brawly than what we've seen from like Hell and Namor. Make sure that FlyQuest, if you're going to be sort of hitting some of the other Vanguards, that you can't really pivot into compositions that well. But Emma Frost's still available for both teams.
So I was like,
counter dive
just gonna
option if
order the
one team starts to do
burrito
it, and there
and
it
I'll
is
just do the
secured for
dishes
100
while I
Thieves,
wait
not just
for it.
available, but going to be
And then
chosen. Frost
I'm
gives
running
them a
the
lot of, like you
first
say, counter dive
thing.
capability. One of the
So,
best frontliners, especially on that
yeah, it's
that
like
kind of
all the
full map
plates.
to
We literally
actually
have one plate right
create
now.
some falls, see if you can
So
kick
that's
some
why I
people
was
off
like,
the edge if you're especially lucky
gotta
as
do it.
otherwise. There's not
But
too many environmental
everything else
characters
that's
like
out there,
adjuncts
that's all
where
that's
we don't
left.
see as much in particular on these maps.
A lot of tight corridors too, so if you're able to take the point and you want to try and push and fight up, Standard Seduction is just so good at that. If you know, 100 Thieves take the point first, FlyQuest try and go for an engagement, you're like, haha, Emma Frost ultimate, woo!
Yeah, I was
really
like,
do too much in the
I was
end.
hoping that
gonna be the
I would
final
start to
ban that
digest
goes
it a little
in from
bit
100
more,
Thieves
so that
against
way I could
FlyQuest.
still have like
The
lunch
Protect an
before we
Invisible
go.
Woman sort of insinuates that FlyQuest are gonna go for
Probably
like
not
stuff,
likely that I'll have
maybe like the
10,
Hella Namor.
30.
But if there's a chance to show some other ideas or strategies, show that you're not just locked into one kind of composition, it's now. But maybe that's what you want to tell
I might want to save that for after the workout, though.
Style. We really need our Jeff. We really need our Mantis. So when you actually go into a draft against them, they're like, actually, we can play all of this other cool stuff.
Honestly, looking at these drafts, I would have considered them to be perfect if they were swapped. The fact that 100 Thieves would have got themselves, for example, an Adam and a Winter Soldier could have gone for some huge burst potential there, and FlyQuest could have got themselves the Helena Mortis. They have proved to be one of the best teams with it throughout this entire
Well, I feel like over the last couple
is,
days, I've gotten better at
drafts are
shuffling
swapped.
cards.
100 Thieves bringing out that Helena Mortis, and the Winter Soldier is going over to Energy.
I do like the draft for 100 Thieves. I think it's just like sort of picking very selective stuff. Not really characters that anchor a team up, for example, but just knowing their opponent. And that's one thing you can say. I think from speaking
Domination
to
up first, we got the Thieves with Tara, Harvey.
That one game that they saw in playoffs that they matched
Tara as Star-Lord, Harvey, Invisible Woman, TTK as Emma Snow, Millennia as
I think 100 Thieves want to prove that there's only one top dog in North America, especially when the second seed is going to be missing from playoffs.
Very true. There's a lot of pressure on both of these teams.
Luna Frost, Vinny, Venom, and Delana as Hella.
From above, Energy already trying to build up towards that first Kraken impact. Terra, though, on the flank, causing a bit of grief for Sparker. Sparky going to be pressuring into that backline, seeing if they can set up for a little bit of pressure onto the strategist, and already finds Harvey, and 100 Thieves are a little bit slow on that reaction.
We're already getting wiped here.
Terra, seeing if you can
not a great start.
Disengage, not lose out on any other people, and there's at least a bit more stall from Vinny. It's not as if time is going to progress in favor of FlyQuest with that stall. It was just buying a little.
Not
bit
a
more
great
time
start.
Thieves to maybe reset, come out of spawn, and go for this fight again next. It is kind of like you mentioned, Tetra. I think stylistically it is like complete opposites. But it is a good chance to sort of get some reps on stuff because FlyQuest would be very keen to move away from triple strategist. 100 Thieves, pretty much 50-50. Trying to go for some different ideas with a Hella and Star-Lord combination. And speaking of which, Terra, 2/3 of having his way to the Galactic
FlyQuest is the only undefeated in our group,
see if they can catch people out. And Vez is very much in a spot that he could be caught out. It's an amazing hook that actually completely isolates him. But Terra just sort of a little bit more out in the open than you typically see from a Star-Lord.
Always on the move, always rolling, always getting that bonus health, but in this case, going to be picked up as Kraken Impact comes on out. FlyQuest chasing them all the way back to spawn. They don't just want the control here, they want to make sure that they get as much as possible by keeping 100 Thieves away from the point. They don't want to go for these retake fights, but they will have to back up eventually. If you overextend, you will just be giving
This is very like snowbally.
Yeah,
I feel like
FlyQuest, I mean, the reason why this composition worked so well against Na'Vi earlier for FlyQuest was the damage and the eliminations that Energy was able to do when he could string picks like that with the hook over onto Terra and then turn it into a really nice ultimate to reset the clock a little bit more. 100 Thieves now, Terra wants to try and match up in his head-to-head. Meteor M mostly trying to mitigate some of this damage. Not really able to catch all that much, so can Terra get much off the back of it? He's able to get
Terra gets one out of that.
But the life cooking means that he's going to come back into the fight and Camet Revival's in the back pocket.
Like he's probably
if more threat comes out of this 100 Thieves time, whilst they go for this retake.
Is he coming back?
Tops up Astral Flock Delena, just playing evasively, trying to get some shots, gets that Guardian barrier for the expectation, tries to chase onto Energy, who get out with the Troopers' Fist, Invisible Boundary for the extra sustain. And
I still don't understand Invisible Woman's ult.
So much pressure, so much damage, team up offered from the Winter Soldier, not even utilized it.
I think this has been a good event for Spark Chief, but there's only so much that you can do in the end.
Another pick. We do have
now
control.
On the point turns in favor of 100 Thieves for the first time, but it's 99%.
It's going to be a lot of time that we have to hold it, though.
And they're struggling to sort of
okay,
reset
finally
here,
winning,
to do it as quickly as possible.
finally winning a team fight here.
Thieves have dedicated quite a lot into
Good
that
to
fight
see.
to farm up just a little bit more. Terra just used the Galactic Legend, what, like less than a minute ago? Almost has it again.
Almost charged up right away here. FlyQuest, on the other hand, they've got Kraken Impact already and that Common Revival, which they've still been holding on to since the first time we talked about it here. Just being very cautious with this, but now they can move out together with Freedom Charge potentially leading the way for the opening of that first fight. They're going to wrap around that first entryway and try and go through the low ground with a much wider attack point with the Freedom Charge for the opening on that bonus health as they charge it out. And Spark Chief literally just charges straight through. Finally, Positive comes down, but they've got a lot of damage onto Harvey. Kraken Impact takes up both the backline. A disintegration of the sustain. Even the tainted voltage lands as FlyQuest.
They made that shit look easy, dude.
At 100 Thieves, they're gonna have
there wasn't even a fight there.
Kraken Impact still available, and that's
they made that look easy.
And they've got a Camera Revival just sat in the pocket to go straight.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Yeah,
you're thinking 2-1 Thieves.
So far.
We beat FlyQuest to get to the finals recently.
So
I mean, I hope so, but FlyQuest is the only undefeated team in our group, and they look good.
Because they know that 100 Thieves dedicate so many ultimates to take the point. Doesn't want to really let them farm.
They look good,
trash damage,
especially after that first round.
Neutral engagement.
I mean,
and then just
that's something like maybe it's easier said than done. So maybe I'm a little faded, but like literally what FlyQuest just did right there.
9 final hits.
Like.
How many of those
fighting everybody else? Just go kill the healers. Once you kill the healers, everybody else is like easy.
Just considering how often
right?
they
like,
were able to just take the neutral,
if you're able to just go wipe out healers off rip, then the rest of the team is screwed.
But yeah. Right now, this is just 100 Thieves with quite a few ultimates charged up.
And that's exactly what they did. They just went and rocked the healers, so the Thieves couldn't really do anything.
Now FlyQuest very close to having a Fate both worlds too. 100 Thieves.
Everyone plays better using 3 supports. It's hard to go against that as 2 supports. That's the thing though, is I feel like the Thieves are always doing like the opposite of whatever the other team does. Like yesterday, I forget which match it was, but one of the matches they were playing triple healers versus double healers, and they lost. But then now they're playing against triple healers, and they're playing double healers. So like, I guess I don't really understand when you use the double healers versus when you use the triple healers, or at least when the Thieves do, I should say.
And then the stragglers are just picked up one by one.
I mean, because we're getting fucking ran right now.
And really, off the back of nothing,
we're getting
right?
ran to start this
using
series.
the ultimates with the Galactic Legend, Silent Seduction. FlyQuest just sort of were able to win out the fight in the end by just bunkering down. They still have the Camera Revival. I think Vision is just not really going to have it in use.
The best counter ultimate, the best defensive ultimate in the game. Walking behind a wall, it counters more than you think.
Yeah.
FlyQuest are able to push on in once again to try and contain 100 Thieves, but not too deep. You don't want to get caught out of position by overextending. It's all about making sure that you can retreat onto the point when needed, but slow your opponent's roll. Even though Boundary, you're so far off the point for this.
The laner switching over towards the Winter Soldier, does have the Kraken's Impact, is going to pull it out alongside the Fate of both worlds and Feast of the Abyss, trying to combine to get something, able to get Vision.
We got a trade
is going to bring it back into the fray. It feels like now this might be the time. That Q button he has cobwebs on it. And now there's still nothing really going in for 100 Thieves. His energy is now going to bring the Kraken's Impact out on his side. TTK, Silent Seduction, trying to pull some of these players out. Spark Chief is very low, and now Vision for the first time.
I feel like
so
anytime I
map,
see Terra drop in the kill feed,
into the fray.
I'm like,
Thieves
we're
not
cooked.
able to grab the point whilst all of this
is that
ruckus has
bad?
been going on. It's taken
is
up
it
to
bad
60%
that every
for
time I
FlyQuest.
see Terra drop, like especially early in a fight, I'm like, we're screwed.
TTK to put the punishment on, and Spark Chief is just keeping the pressure on right now. FlyQuest once again keeping 100 Thieves in their spawn.
My only other thought is maybe we're just not good at domination.
So FlyQuest having to use a lot, but it makes sure that 100 Thieves can.
Because yesterday we didn't look very good at domination either.
I think Delena on the Winter Soldiers looked a little bit better with some of that lethality, but they've also been taking so much damage again. He's pretty low. I think that was one of the reasons that invisible boundary got forced out quite early up on the high ground fight. Melania gets picked off just as we see 100 Thieves get 50% on the board. I mean, it's going to be 99 for FlyQuest to hit. And I don't think there's going to be anybody else from 100 Thieves to actually contest this one.
Have they even won a fight?
And swing back in, but he's already taken out. Vision snipes him before he even touches. Ultimate's used a dance party in the boundary for FlyQuest for style, as they are able to
that was
a very solid
that one was brutal.
In style is the best way to put it. It's a statement for FlyQuest to sort of work here. Undefeated on domination so far this event, and they're the kind of games that you want. Yes, it's seeding. Yes, like both these teams are going to be in playoffs. It's fine. There's nothing too much to show. But it's the fact that this is a team that knocked you down to the losers bracket and then Envy finished the job that you're basically saying like that was a fluke. We're the top dogs of EMEA, especially now that there's no Envy. It is between these two and Dark Zero from the other group that went out in fourth.
Really does seem to be. The pressure is on. Let's have a look at the highlights for this energy.
That is also true.
Like
that is also true.
Just continuing to build it so much that 100 Thieves abandoned the Nord very
that
quickly.
That is a valid point.
And they tried stopping again to bring out the Winter Soldier on Delena because
I think I'm just a little concerned because I feel like after their loss to Citadel, they kind of like dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, it sort of felt like you've got
like
the
they
band
don't
that
look
came out
as confident
against
or look as
FlyQuest with the Heller and stuff. But if I'm looking at what FlyQuest were able to do,
I came in kind of late. I mean, you missed the first map, but I mean, the first map was fast as fuck.
Was able to just
I've been live for 16 minutes, so that tells you how quick the first map was.
Too comfortable. It just felt like for what FlyQuest is playing currently, it's so well suited for them. Maybe that wasn't the case in stage 2. Maybe that's why they floundered a little bit when it came to
Dom isn't our best game mode. That's what it seems like.
But this meta, whether it's their read,
but that means they have to be good at the other game modes, because otherwise you're not going to win many series like that. I feel like.
But at that point, how many duelists do you really want to start panning out against these team of FlyQuest? They have the Hella that we saw banned out there so that you could avoid that Hella Namora composition. They just picked Winter Soldier. Didn't matter. Are you really going to burn 2 duelist spots versus FlyQuest when there's heroes like Mantis, Jeff, Venom, Emma, all of these high priority compositions just because those duelists are so scary? At this point, FlyQuest are just looking terrifying to draft against. We'll have to see if 100 Thieves can adjust. They need a bit of time to get themselves set up for map number 2, so we're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, the continuation and quite possibly conclusion if FlyQuest can close it out.
Quick break, huh? Why don't we play a daily game here? Why don't we rip a daily game while we can? Why don't we play a daily game here, huh, folks? We're ripping the CDL player guesser. Yesterday was 10th. Let's go. Let's go beans today. I'm feeling beans. That was probably the worst guess we could have possibly had. Nothing correlates. All right. Okay, but we know they're older than 25, so we can go for a slightly older player. They also have a ring, and they have a regular championship. Did not play for Boston, Carolina, or Toronto. Maybe we go. Let's go. I'm going to go Octane. Okay. 1 ring, older than 28. Interesting. Older than 28, but has less than 10 championships. Did not play for LAT or Seattle, Toronto, Carolina, or Boston. Older than 28 is what's a little interesting for me. Who is older than 28? Or was older than 28 with 1 ring? Never played for the Thieves. Okay. So my first thought is like Optic. My first thought would be Optic. Maybe, well, it can't be Formal because Formal has, I don't even think Formal's 28. Is Assault that old? I'll give it a go. Is he that old? He is, but it's older than that. How many? It can't be Aches, right? Because he has 2. Let's see. We still haven't gotten a team. Minnesota, LAG, LAT, Seattle, Boston, Carolina, Toronto. So we have left Miami, FaZe, Optic. And then who else am I missing? Who else am I missing? Yo, what's up, Brandon? How's it going? This has got to be an Optic or a FaZe player, no? Simp's not, but it's somebody who's 30 or older. Simp isn't that old yet. Simp's only like my age. I feel like it has to be. See, like, because accuracy comes to mind, but no to Minnesota and no to Seattle, so it can't be accuracy. Can't be accuracy. Zuma never won a ring, so it can't be Zuma. I don't think Kismet's that old. I'll go for it. Brother, what team did they play for? What? Now I'm confused because we've gone through like every team in the league. I don't think Pristini's 30 though. Major Maniac, maybe? That's my other guess. No. Dude, what team did they play for? Okay, here's the other question, right? Here's the other question. These are like all time, right? This is not just CDL. Because Octane did not win 10 tournaments in just the CDL. Zach Methods does not have a ring either. He does not have a ring. I thought Attach, but Attach played for Minnesota. This has got to be either OGLA, Optic, Chicago Huntsman, Chicago Optic, or who else? Could it be the Royal Ravens? It has to be one of those teams, right? Who the fuck is 30 that has Silly? Oh. Yeah, you're on to something there. You're on to something there. Brother, older than 30? Nah.
Would have been utilized in double Adam
Nah.
compositions. If you want to come back into a fight, why not do it twice?
Nah.
May I introduce you to our new product, Adam Warlock, twice.
That's insane.
We are heading into Yggdrasil Path, starting off with FlyQuest.
It's got to be like a Persini, right?
Already hovering. One of the most aggressive compositions I've seen, but again, take this with a grain of salt. A lot of this may be utilized to look through the window and see what they can spy that FlyQuest.
But Parasite played for LAG, did he not?
I mean, we have seen a little bit more of it, especially when Jeffson played.
I don't know. We got a game.
Fate did a really
Dude.
good job of it yesterday, for example, going up against what Citadel Gaming were running.
Who the fuck?
So he's going to be in place
over
so 30. Trying to go for like a bunker breaking composition.
TP, but TP never played in the CDL.
Trying to palm up the ultimate as quickly as possible, and on these convoy maps,
it has to be somebody who's played in the CDL. That's the tough part. Hey, I'm good, Random. How are you doing?
America all the way. These teams
How are you
doing?
doing?
A bit of a rematch in from the group stages of stage 2. And there you go, there's the hand of Khonshu, very quick, very early on. The group trying to escape a bit of mitigation into
Terra's
the
playing Moon Knight. Interesting. We haven't seen that.
It's the laner over on the Storm, cleaning
At least
up
I
house.
haven't seen that.
Going to bring back one of the Vanguards, but not the other. Spark Chief gets taken out.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't have a ring.
The Loki clone with the God of Mischief, Cooper copying onto Zelos so they can get an eternal bond as they were already charged up here. And another good point out of you, Steve. And FlyQuest still sustained them. That card has moved.
Yeah, I don't know.
A few meters, less than 10 meters so far.
I gotta think on that one. It could be Parasite, but I feel like Parasite played.
Ultimates outside the spawn of 100 Thieves just to try and.
Parasite played for. Was it Paris?
We've seen so many teams move away from going for triple Vanguard, triple Strategist, this like bunker composition that FlyQuest are running. And now it's starting to be cleaned up. Instantly, you've got
if you want to go, oh yeah, because he was on Complexity.
Fight, but it seems to be the way to go. Just try to force as many engagements, stall this objective for as long as possible, because a minute and a half has been.
He was on that Complexity team, no?
2, 3, maybe even 4.
I don't remember. I didn't start watching competitive COD until Black Ops 3, so he was a coach. No, coach rings. I don't think coach rings count.
Trying to get onto that Loki with Jeff Nado. They're trying to push on through and see if they can shut down the defensive bodies off this point, but a lot of them were able to evade it. FlyQuest once again with great positioning, strangling Prison for the chase with the hand of Khonshu for a blow up. Delena makes it a double, triple, but Terra will fall.
Delena's getting all the kills at least.
Sacrifice 100 Thieves with Khonshu's blessing, but not his champion.
There we go.
Continue to move towards the gate.
We're moving the cart, baby.
Before, I think was one of the reasons why that Sharknado managed to miss quite a lot.
We are moving the cart.
The Lunar Snow. There's no pole play available now for FlyQuest as they've just used it. And now Spark Chief wanted to try and dive in and hold it down. Heaven's Judgment is available. He's trying to pull the fight from 100 Thieves towards the back of the point, which means that these chokes are a little bit easy to get through. But he goes down in a split second from Delena.
Pretty quick kill from Delena there.
On this Storm.
Coming in with the ice arts for at least a little bit of extra sustain, has to drop the fate of both worlds so that their team could hold the point, but there's not that many bodies on the point. Beth will be respawning. They have to give up on the Eye of Agamotto to swap over to Captain America so they can try and contest it. The Eye of Agamotto will be coming out from Team.
There we go.
Does not need to swap as they isolate Sparks.
Now Terra's on Wolverine.
Are just picking them off one by one, it seems here. The retreat comes out from Endy because I think they realize that this might be doomed. With 60 seconds remaining, we're just seeing delays as much as possible. Their spies a touch more time as does Spark Chief, but they're just being picked off one by one. Even more delays from Vision.
There we go.
The timer is eaten, but the gates are open.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
Got to the second point here.
Definitely be stalled out here. Terra sort of doing what we saw a little bit from him I think it was up against Crazy Raccoon on Central Park, where
yeah, he was a coach in CDL, but I don't think that counts. I think it has to be a player in
FlyQuest
CDL.
moving away from the 3-0-3 now to the Namor Hella, something that allows them to set up and use
I think he
these
had to
sightlines,
play in
use the
CDL.
high grounds and crossfire as much as they possibly can. 100 Thieves are not really built to dive in onto these opponents with how they're set up on the ground with the Groot and the Jeff.
But you're right. I forgot about his complexity
if they have
days.
to try and stall on the objective for FlyQuest, which is the name of the game for this, they might end up with more than they bargained for. There's a last stand that's very close for Terra that he's not going to switch off the character just yet. An invisible boundary is just going to kind of force FlyQuest to back off a little bit more, give Delana a bit of a window to leap in with the Galactic Legend, but there really isn't any pressure going in onto FlyQuest right now outside of forcing that fate of both worlds and then a Silent Seduction to follow.
Strangling Prison came on out, but wasn't able to find a target. 400 Thieves, instead of running out of resources here. Vision, Horde approaches, takes out Milena. will be dropped to try and take him down, to try and get the flip. Vinny gets energy, but they're being completely outnumbered. Last stand for Wolverine, pulling back with a little bit of healing. Is not able to sustain on through. TTK falls, and FlyQuest will sustain that 100 Thieves, finding the odd pick, but they just out-traded every
not
single
great
time.
there.
FlyQuest will hold.
It felt like 100 Thieves set themselves up nicely there because you have got the Galactic
Was he
Legend,
listed as an alternate?
World, and then I have from TTK connecting onto Free.
That I don't
ended
know.
Up with an elimination. FlyQuest just having a couple of ultimates on hand to work
that
with.
One I'm not
making
sure.
Loki work one-sided as well, so it's not going to be available for 100 Thieves. Might be the way.
Honestly,
to
they
go
probably
forward.
would, unfortunately, because
right
at least for the player grids, they tend to do that sometimes.
Terra gets picked off. And there's now
so
just
I
less
don't
than
know,
9 seconds for
but
100
that's
Thieves.
kind of
This
fugazi if they
moved
do.
as far as it can have done.
That's kind of fugazi.
FlyQuest holding on with his defense and just bullied 100 Thieves off the objective itself.
They do have Portal. We're hearing screams over.
Got a minute to work with here, and they really haven't pushed the car all that far.
Right
I feel like
the back line. In comes Spark Team. Soul's ready to try and lock him
Thieves
down.
have not done the best of jobs defensively on this map. I feel like.
And harassed him. Cooper goes down.
Okay, yeah. Terra gets a pick.
There's no Cooper for the time being. Investors
Terra
as
gets
well.
another one.
This is
huge.
That way of fate of both worlds. You actually had a lot for
there we go.
that you were just sitting back on, waiting for the engagement to happen, but it just goes in and goes down before you really.
Lenny has ult as well. I'm sure they'll probably save that for like a bigger team fight, maybe.
You do lose a Delana that was on the Adam Warlock, but the passive is going to bring you back into the fold. This is a really good fight for 100 Thieves, just as we're getting close to overtime. 20 seconds left.
Thieves are going to have all 6 ults.
6 almost, with Terra having that Goddess of Death. They didn't need to use anything then.
I mean, if Millennia can get a big ult here,
try to creep towards that last gate. FlyQuest, they burned the
that could be huge.
Setup, and they're going to use Freedom Charge for this second. And look at just laser guided. They know how much Delana is important in this fight. If they can take them out, then there's no revives, but they just cannot keep the pressure on. Due to the fact that Terra was in the air. Ayamoto from TTK for the first setup. Continued distraction. No pickup from either side, but that overtime is starting to tick down every time they step off of the point. Forced to push on up. TTK, one of a few controller players, has very few.
We're probably going to need that Millennia ult here in a second.
Go onto the flank, see if they can get a quick blow up onto the strategist. The common rival comes on out, brings back Vinny, allowing Freedom Charge. Bonus health to allow this push to come on in with Hella from the sky. Pushing extra damage, she gets soul drained herself.
Yeah, this is a massive team fight here.
Takes out the front line.
Vision kills TTK, that's not good.
It's Jeff is going to be used. It's the last ultimate in the hands for 100 Thieves, and it's just used to keep the sustain going. Nobody else has gone down in the time being. It's able to pick up to the Hella, but everybody else from 100 Thieves that was there just got pushed back. They were not able to touch, and FlyQuest draw the line.
We had
in the sand
6
that they are now seeking to cross on their attacking side.
And lost the fight.
Not a terrible push for
How do you have 6 ults and you lose the fight?
Meaning that it is doable, but FlyQuest, they've already shown just how strong they are, especially in these aggressive setups here. And you can see a couple hovers here onto some interesting stuff. I doubt we'll see the main strategist Cooper onto the Daredevil.
I mean, that's typically the choke point teams lose at, but I feel like the Thieves have not had great defense on this map. So
they want to go for a heavy defense that they could go for Adam or Rocket.
We'll have to see.
Both. It's risky because you lose a lot of healing output here because you're very reliant
we'll have to see.
on AoE healing on Rocket to really make up the numbers there.
I'm being really
cold as ice.
This event.
Yeah, I mean,
some teams you just see like a style that seems to suit them, but the fact that FlyQuest play both the triple strategist and 2-2-2
that was not
so well,
not great.
Means I think they're maybe favorites for this event, especially with how well they played up against Na'Vi earlier.
would very much be.
You have, I mean, you have
teasing us by looking
6
through the window.
ults.
That is what they're using this for, so that they can set up.
I feel like that's
which
gotta.
character do you mean? I wonder.
That's gotta be enough to win the gunfight.
And Daredevil in the triple duel is set up for the rollout. But I think we will be seeing this Moon Knight to burst on through, especially with this Groot already set up, and we go into a standard 2-2-2.
Yeah, I mean,
as 100 Thieves,
it's a tough choke point.
With Vinny setting up the walls,
but I feel like
you
had, I mean.
Yeah, it's the Hela instead of a Storm, though. That's the main difference for FlyQuest.
Again, I don't know the game,
Sparks,
so like...
trying to farm up the Strangler Prison, seeing if you can match the time that Energy might be able to do on the Fist of Khonshu. Vision,
I can understand, like, if I'm wrong there. I just feel like when you have ults like that...
Soon, but there's not really too much else. Terra will have
like, you saved him for that fight.
And almost as an eye of Agamotto before anybody
because I don't even think they took down maybe one person there. Like, that's not great. Even if it is a tough choke point.
Won't be enough. They will likely portal back for this next defense, which means Delena may be able to build up a Karmic Revival, but positioning is going to be key. We saw a little bit of it earlier where teams are sending their Adam Warlocks off into corners to hide, to wait for those revives, and there's a chance.
Yeah, Emoji, the new changes are dope.
Back into the fight. And you already lose the laner. You've got the Life Cocoon now, and almost close to a Karmic Revival.
I'm excited for this season.
From 100Thieves to just kind of
even more than I already was.
Picks happening in favor of FlyQuest. You've got the fate of both worlds being copied over from Cooper, and Zelos has his still in hand, so you're able to sort of string these two together potentially. If it wasn't for 100Thieves really starting to put the pressure in these objectives, starting to clamber on through, there's the Strangler Prison in hand for Vinny. You don't need it. TTK has cleaned up house.
That was so important for 100 Thieves. Yes, being able to hold the point is important, but burning Karmic Revival and the portal for that hold.
The locations RW, yeah.
However,
I hope I can try to go to one of them this year. I feel like Champs would probably be the easiest, because if I really wanted to, I could drive to Vegas. But we'll have to see.
Groot is able to retreat with the extra healing up to be caught out by the wall. The side instruction comes on out. They use the high ground. Groot wants to escape there after nearly getting caught out. Hand of Khonshu for the push.
Oh, TTK with 2.
Ram into the backline. Takes out Vision and Cooper. And the Eye of Agamotto from Terra to keep this momentum going. FlyQuest, Zelos was the only thing keeping them up in that fight. But the Fate of Once is about to expire while Harvey still had invisible boundary.
Bro, there's so much going on right now.
They utilize
Let's go. Okay.
Keep them topped up with that repair mode, and the Thieves repel FlyQuest again.
100Thieves just doing it, sort of a bank, a couple of ultimates down. Vision's going to switch over towards the Bucky to see if they can maybe pull some people out of position there. That wall from Groot was so good to just be able to dodge it, and TTK has had so many great bulwarks to block some of that damage, but Meteor M taking out 2 in that instance. FlyQuest might be full held here on first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I completely understand that FlyQuest is a really good team.
Not have portal, but they do have Karmic Revival and BRB struggling prison. Adam Khonshu though, goodbye Thieves. Immediately Karmic Revival is popped just to stay, but it's in the doorway.
We just got fucking shredded. We just got shredded right there, dude.
Thieves are being deleted.
Okay, we're coming back though.
Turn it round. Thieves turn it. They get revived to stay the Kraken Impact.
Okay, those revives were massive.
That was looking like it was going to be fish in a barrel for FlyQuest. It couldn't have been any better set up. You have Strangling Prison. You have got the Hand of Khonshu and Visions just slamming
what are the
on
CDL changes? So this year,
Revival worked
they're doing
for Delena, but also the Unamplified to get some damage out. It was just so hard. It was
I think it's Major
tough now for FlyQuest to find an opening here. Energy switched over towards the Wolverine to see if he can get his hands onto Vinny, who has his own Strangling Prison, and a Meteor M that could be the end of this map.
We're in the overtime.
Major
on this first point, Wolverine comes in with
I believe,
at least for the moment.
is going to be,
TTK,
I think it's a 10-team tournament, and they're doing like a round robin leading into the tournament to determine who actually gets to make it to the event.
Numbers in favor of FlyQuest, but that Cocoon might be coming back on cooldown.
Hold on, I gotta lock in for what's happening here.
Back in time, they might be able to reinforce this as the rest of 100 Thieves are holding the point. Kraken Impact, Vision gets 2, gets 3.
No.
Delena's so close.
Going for it. Terra's going for the portal to try and reach it.
He's not gonna have time.
He has the time, Ryan. and he's gonna cancel the portal, and FlyQuest break the gate.
Delana just got his
That's
camera
not
revival
great.
online, and Vision catches him just in that second. I think he was going to use it.
So yeah, there's like a round
just
robin
sends him all the way back
for
to
the
spawn,
online
and
matches that
100 Thieves,
leads
it looked like they
into
might be able to hold
Major
on with just
2.
how those fights were going. But
And
FlyQuest managed to get
then
themselves across the
there's
line.
2 minor tournaments.
Now they've got 2 minutes, which isn't a lot of time to get here on
The
second.
2
but look
minor
how far
tournaments
they pushed up.
are
They only need to create as much space as
between-
possible.
oh,
3
we're
players stunned, 3 players
GG's.
CC'd. One of them's Delana. He's got the life cocoon that's going to be used up at this moment. They're really still trying to regroup as they lost the rocket at the same time. That's so good for FlyQuest.
Thieves
That's
able to
not
copy
great.
FlyQuest strategy. Though. A lot of fighters, one far up. Vinny
There's 2
delays
minor
the
tournaments
car,
this year.
gives
They're
a little bit of an
between
opportunity for Thieves to respawn and get back to the point,
Major
but they
3
need to
and
make sure that Vinny
4, I
stays
believe
up.
they
He's able to
said.
escape from Vision as they move back in. The objectives, the points, the
And
terrain is
then
about
just
to
the event
respawn.
locations, I
Traffic
think,
on
are
TTK,
better this
the
year.
ball is bursted immediately. Zolbon keeps them sustained though as they push on in. We're down to 1 minute and 28 seconds. Clone Cooper giving
This
themselves another
concerns
fade
me
of
because
focus. Cosmic
they
Yard
really
out
don't
there,
have to
comes
go
out
that
with
much
damage.
farther.
100 Thieves are trying to
Thieves
make
have to
something happen
delay
off
a
of this,
lot.
with Cooper keeping the team topped up. Zionix seduction to try and trap them on the ramp because the finish line is right there. Meteor M looking for the strategist. He's going to hit Wolverine,
Oh!
who picks him up anyway. Takes him off the point, and TTK
no,
is picked up
TTK is dead.
alone.
Yeah,
There's
and then
only one ball
Overload
of metal
replaces
that's
control
scary when it flies
for the
across the sky.
third
It's the
game mode.
adamantium of energy. The leaping across now as Terra's going to try and see if he can catch him off. The Camera Revival, 100 Thieves digging in their heels with just less than a minute to go. They're trying to deal with that pesky player of Spark Chief that's now just trying to pull back the sight line, but there's too much focus that goes in onto him. It's now 5 players for FlyQuest, 4 actually free, as they've all
Those
been
are huge
picked off
kills.
from this
Those are
damage
huge
that's been
kills.
thrown out from 100 Thieves. It means that these resets is going to be a bit more precarious in the time for FlyQuest.
They're pushing them to the gate to try and zone them, but they don't have everyone here. They can't afford to get backdoored, so they have to defend nearer the point with just
Yeah, I
23
don't know how
seconds left.
Overload like
FlyQuest
plays
are
because,
down
like
to
I said,
one
I
point.
haven't
Brought out
gotten
the
to
hell
play
of
it
brought out the
myself.
board. They're going for resets. If they win
But
this
a lot of
fight,
people
just a
seem to
couple
like
pickups,
it,
they can
and
snowball
I
it.
also know a
With
lot of
Terra
people
so
don't like
close to a Kraken
control.
impact.
So
the same could be said on the other side, especially with Cooper not having that god.
should be interesting to see how it
resets
plays
for the
out
Kraken
and what
impact.
people kind of think of it
So here now,
for this season.
100 Thieves trying to bring us to a match
As we go,
3 on this defense.
deeper into the
Overtime
year.
has been hit. It is just about 7 meters to work with for FlyQuest, and they've switched over towards this composition. Yeah, it's a great pickup in this
Terra
area,
gets a
but
pick.
Energy's the one that gets taken down.
That's huge.
The Kraken's impact is now going to come into full fruition, and everything that could be thrown out for 100 Thieves, 4 ultimates in hand, 2 have already been
Oh, he
used.
didn't get a reset
No
though.
resets for Terra.
Reset would have been massive.
100 Thieves, a little bit of a setup. Here comes Best with the Psionic seduction to try and set him up. Cosmic Yard Amplifier for the bonus health. Vision has Horde and Proteus. Copy for a bait of both worlds to allow one more sustain.
Terra gets another pick though. That's huge.
The Horde comes out, finds nothing. Millennia's ultimate expires, but they're still fighting on this. TTK falls, no karma.
no, TTK drops.
Bringing them back into this fight. They need to reach TTK, who found themselves isolated, but Harvey will return with Invisible Boundary. TTK is back. Portal for
Okay,
FlyQuest.
revive's
One more
huge.
time. Zenos has that bait of
We
both
have to-
worlds, which
we
has
have
be
to stay on it,
utilized.
though.
With that Invisible Boundary expiring soon, Thieves are out of sustain. They're
We're
out
dead.
of bodies. And Aya Bakamoto to close it out for 100 Thieves. They do not have the bodies. They do not have the help. And FlyQuest take the second map and the series.
It couldn't have been any closer in the end. When you've got 100 Thieves sticking to having that one-sided Adam, the amount of Camera Revivals that we saw, just a sheer attrition for 100 Thieves. The top seed of America's losing to third of FlyQuest, resetting a balance, it seems, as FlyQuest have the perfect group and come out as the top seed from Group
I'll
B.
be honest, I'm a little worried
What
about the
a
Thieves for this
performance
tournament.
from FlyQuest, but 100 Thieves, they
I mean,
showed us that they are not to be overlooked.
The
yet.
only
Taking
games
them
they
to
looked
the
good
lead
at
every
were the ones where they were
single
playing the
time.
teams that
One
I think they
more
were
time,
expected to
100
beat.
Thieves will be making it to the playoffs. And they're
Playing
looking
against
to exceed
FlyQuest,
their
playing
expectations
against
last
Citadel,
time, third place
and
of the
Navi,
season.
they did not look
Champions of
the
their
same.
region, 100 Thieves
So-
are far from out.
It feels like this is the, even though it's a loss for them,
I
it's the
don't
kind
know.
of performance that they'd want to get. Just feeling a little bit more familiar with what FlyQuest has been able to do. and both teams having to make pretty like.
I'm not trying to be like super negative. I'm
right?
just like
both teams showing a little bit more in their approach.
I'm trying to be realistic.
But also experimented, I suppose, in things. Even stuff like FlyQuest right at the end, switching over.
I'm worried for
him away from
the
bookie in a moment where overtime was looming. Just to have a little bit more of that team up to work with, more bodies, more like fire, more artillery.
Especially because it looks like they're going to finish last in
just a fantastic
in this
way
pool.
To show off what
for at least the teams that are moving
doing
on
in this group, going into playoffs. Even though it's FlyQuest to end up winning it, there's a lot of lessons to be taken from both sides.
That probably means they're going to play a better team to start off.
Bringing out so many compositions throughout that matchup.
I'm not sure what team. I don't know how like the bracket's going to look quite yet.
That the board with the Hella when it was needed, whereas 100 Thieves.
And I know we were in kind of like the tougher bracket, but
and then swapping it to the first. Here are the standings as they stand.
I mean,
are able to do it.
We only beat Crazy Raccoon in OUG.
2 maps, one to Navi and one to OUG. 100 Thieves, because of that matchup, they now sit at the bottom of the qualified teams, 2 and 3. Meaning that they will be going through to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Steve, but at the same time, like,
they probably play up against Virtus Pro in their first
you got to be prepared to play. You know what I mean? Like,
it seems I don't.
Even if you are cold going into the match,
possible,
like,
but you know what I mean. Like when it comes to the results,
that's just how tournaments are going to be sometimes. There's some days that you're going to come into a match where the other team has more momentum or is coming off of a series, so they're warm. You got to be able to pull through. I mean, if you want to win, it's pool play, right? So it's not the end of the world. But my concern is that we didn't even beat a single team that I think was looked at as like a tough matchup for the Thieves. And at least if we would have gotten one, I think I would have felt a little better about it. But since we didn't get one against Citadel, Navi, or FlyQuest, that's where I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, it's still a fun way to sort of see what Navi can
do. And Navi and FlyQuest beat us 2-0. At least with Citadel, there was a little bit of a fight, but 2-0 against Navi and FlyQuest is a little concerning for me, personally. All right, I'm gonna try and finish this. I'm gonna try and finish this thing, and then we'll call it for the day. Yeah. I mean, you get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, I'm not trying to say I think that the Thieves are dead in the water and they don't stand a chance. I'm just saying, like, it's concerning. I'm concerned for their future matches, depending on who they play. Because if you think about it, out of all the teams that are moving on in our pool, we didn't beat any of them. So even if you win other matches, you're guaranteed going to have to play these teams again. And only one of them we were able to kind of like battle with. The other two, it was just like they completely wiped the floor with us. That's my concern. Major Maniac is 27. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping they do better. They're definitely gonna have to. They're definitely gonna have to play better. Who are we missing here? Does LAG like? This is Paris. Like, who could it be, bro? Who could it be? Who is like 31, 32 and only has one champs win? I mean, at this point, I'm just going to start picking the older players. It's got to be one of them. It's got to be, right? Let's go Parasite. Fuck it. It was Parasite. Brother. He played for London. Oh, dude. It was Parasite. I didn't realize he played for London. I thought he played for Paris. I always get those mixed up. That's insane, though. That's insane. All right. Here we go. From Spain, clean with teen. Whoa. Teamed with Kleenex in the CDL. Currently 26 years old. Dude, the age thing cooks me because I don't know how old people are. I don't pay attention to their age. Exactly 0 rings. And then Carolina, played for Carolina. Has not played for Chicago Huntsmen. Teamed with Kleenex and is currently 26 years old. Let's see. Who has teamed with Kleenex? Plays for Carolina or played for Carolina. Did Beans ever play for Carolina? He played for Boston. Played for Ultra. Yeah, I know Real could go here. I'm just trying to figure out these because I don't want to jump the gun and pick somebody and then be like cooked on one of the tougher ones. You know what I mean? I think Real is the only one for here though. So I guess I might as well put him in. Team with Kleenex has 0 rings. Insight. Can't type, bruh. Insight. Real for the Carolina one. When did Real play for Carolina? Am I faded? Did he play for Carolina? Joe Deceives played with Kleenex. Real Insight. Scrap. was it? Why am I blanking on it? Hixie. Methods played for them. Bance. Trying to think of who was on like the OG Ultra team. Because Insight and Kleenex have been there the whole time. Bance played for them. Oh, dude, I can't remember like some of the other players. Real played with Slasher, GodRx, and Gwen in 2023 on Carolina. Really? I do not remember that. I do not remember that. Did I just like fuck myself then? I don't think so though, because who else is from Spain? Oh, Metals, was it? Because Metals played. I might have just cooked myself then. Ant, Cammy, Insight, Kleenex. But then there was Methods at one point. I think there was Metals at one point. And none of them played for Carolina. So if Real played for Carolina, I'm cooked. I think. Because I think I could have put Metals here. Or I could have put Vickle. I think. I mean, he played for the Ultra Academy team at least. Fuck, I forgot about Vickle, dude. I could have put Vickle there. Who is 26 from Spain? Dude, I don't know people's ages, bro. I don't know people's ages. Currently 26 years old. I might be chalked on this one. Spain and has not played for the Huntsmen. Let's go, Rancor. Rancor, currently 26 years old. From Spain. Maybe we could go Vickle here. Super Metals. Dude, I don't know anybody's ages. That's the problem. Like, you think I'm paying attention to how old these cats are? To the exact year? No. No, I'm not. Has not played for the Huntsmen and has 0 rings. Let's go Estriel. Why not? Has not played for Chicago Huntsmen, has played for Carolina. Gwen, I guess. Gwen. Spain and is 26 years old. Exactly 0 rings, 26 years old. Carolina, currently 26. I feel like Tej is 26. He's either 26 or 27. He's either 26 or 27 because he played with Ken, and Ken is like 20. Ken is 25 or 26. So I might go Teach here. He is 26. That's clutch. Who else is 26? I gotta think of like who came up with Teach like around that same time as Teach. Who came up with Teach that doesn't have a ring? Hmm. Who the fuck is 26, bro? I don't know. I don't know people's ages, dog. I'm gonna say Metals here because I think I'm already cooked anyway. Yeah, he's not 26. Team with Kleenex. Exactly 0 rings. Currently 26 years old. I feel like maybe Purge, but I feel like Purge is probably like 24. If I'm being honest. I feel like Purge is probably younger. Yeah. Proloop, maybe. Proloop's been around for a little bit. Nope. He's probably 27. Fucking stupid, dude. Cammy, maybe. Cammy never played for Carolina either, right? Yeah. I wasn't getting that shit. Beans did play for Carolina. Oh. I knew it, dude. Fuck. Knew it. I knew it. Lucky? Yeah, I don't think I was getting that. Again, the ages, I don't know, dude, I don't know people's ages. I'm not paying attention to how old these guys are. I hate the however old, like, because honestly, I don't care how old these guys are. I really don't. Can they game? That's all I care about. That's it. That's all I care about. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for the stream. We unfortunately did not get the gridlock. I don't remember exactly when Beans played for Carolina exactly, but I just like I remember him playing for them at some point. That's like the only way I can explain it. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I feel like I remember him playing for them. I think it was very brief. I think it was after Boston. I think it was after Boston. Because I also don't think he played. I don't think he played with Slasher either. Well, I'm not really sure. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the stream. I plan on being live tomorrow for the match as well, or if the Thieves have a match tomorrow, I guess I should say. I don't know. I can't give you an exact time because I don't know what like the bracket and stuff looks like for the Thieves coming up. I have therapy tomorrow at like 5 my time. So if the match is around that same time, then unfortunately I will not be able to watch it. But I don't think it should be that late. I don't think the match should start that late. We'll see. Again, that's even if they play tomorrow. They might not play until Friday. but that's also Halloween, and I have plans for Halloween as well. So all this stuff is kind of a toss up. Can't really say exactly if and when I'll be live, but my plan is as long as everything works out, I will be live. So keep an eye on that if you guys want to watch more of the Marvel Rivals matches. And I do apologize if unfortunately I'm not able to go live. But I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and hope to see you guys in the next couple days for more Rivals matches, and hopefully we can keep stacking dubs. Hopefully we can come out on top of this tournament. That would be pretty freaking cool. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Peace out, everybody. Be sure to like the stream as well. I'll see y'all later.